So I have written one thing during for our session about let's learn and let's explore. And this is a time when we are discussing this thing. Please be on mute mode. Let me cover all these things one by one. At the end, we are going to do a question answer session again if you have. Note down your question maybe in your notepad and at the end you can ask. Let's understand one thing that everyone cannot become a team lead or manager. Why why I'm saying this? Think logically that there are let's say 1,000 test engineers, right? 1,000 test engineers in the world as of now. Just a random example, right? After 10 years, right, or after 5 years, do you think that everyone will become the leader or the manager? No. What is the ratio? Generally, if there is a test manager, right, or the test leader, there is only one, and he or she handles, let's say, 20 test engineers, right, or test engineer resources, right. So, in future, whoever is the test engineer, right, will become the test manager? Everyone? Logically, if you think it's not possible. Why? Because test manager is one, but test managers are 20. It's like this. And if there are new companies are opening, there are a lot of things coming, then only we can think that everyone will become the test manager or the leader. So you should be open for different kind of roles. You should be open to work as an individual contributor also. It's not like that everyone will become the test leader. Everyone will become the test manager in your career. Right? If it is happening, it's good. But logically, that's not the case. That's why we have to think about what else we can do. Are we good with different things? Can we can we learn new things and do new things also? Right? Based on the interest, obviously. Next question is somebody has already asked, our certifications are good. Let's understand this part. And it's my opinion. Maybe you will differ with that. Certifications are like always good if you are doing it honestly. So I'm writing it. It's always good when doing it honestly. Honestly and with intention, intention to learn and complete. Okay. So it's always good when you are doing it honestly. Honestly means you are registered for a certification. Let's say a simple example is which like you all will able to relate it is ISTQB certification. So when we say ISTQB certification, there are different levels. Right? What people generally does is they register for the ISTQB certification and then they prepare it through the dumps or 1,000 best questions, 100 good questions, 100 questions which is asked in previous years. You see it and you want to prepare. That's not the right way. When you are doing a certification, there is always recommended books available, right, from the website itself. They recommend some books to read. So it's better to read the book and then prepare for it. It's fine if you're reading the dumps at the end, at the end when you already finished the book. Now you want to see, okay, what kind of questions are asked last year, right? But what we generally do is we do it on the very first day. I want to clear the certification. Let's find out all the previous question papers. It's not a good way. Second thing is when you are doing the certification, share the knowledge about it. When you are done with it, talk about with the people that I learned this thing through this. Relate it with what you are doing. talk about that in a book. Theoretically, it is written like this. Are we doing this? What is good? What is bad? Based on that, your maturity level will increase. Okay. What certification we can do. So I'm just like putting out like on year basis. Right? Ideally, it should happen. If it has not happened, you can do it right now also at any stage of your career. But when you are on 0 to 1 year, generally what we should do is I'm talking in like in the testing part only. So you can do foundation or agile testing, right? Or there is different websites, right, where you can grow technically. So rank or hacker earth is there, right? Coursera is there. There are a lot of different websites which provides you um, free, what you say, tutorials. Free challenges are there, free certifications are there, right? So if you are on the 0 to 1 year, then do these things, right? Even if in any stage you can do that thing, but I'm talking especially to, if you are 0 to 1 year, then start these things. Start these things like from the hacker rank, complete the things one by one. From the programming side, you can do whatever Java, SQL, whatever programming you want to do. There are badges for completing different levels. It's very good. You can put it in your profile that you have, completed a particular part in the hacker. 1 to 4 year is generally called, we say, test analyst, right? So here we say, okay, you are an associate QA member or member technical, something like this. So during this, you can do Scrum Master, let's say, certified Scrum Master. You can do again. ISTQB has different levels. So there is test analyst that you should do. From 4 to 8 years, you can do, let's say, technical test analyst and test manager. There are certifications related to technical test analyst and test manager in ISTQB. And 8+ years, you find out whether you can do the business analyst, product owner, or PMP. There is like for the managers. Same applies for the 12+ years also if you have not done it. So that is about the certification thing. There are a lot of other certifications also. I'm not saying just this, just an idea. Is it good to have BA plus QA role? Yes, it is good. It is good to have. So somebody have asked that, is it good to handle both kind of things? Some companies have their own, BAs who will just handle the business analyst part, who will interact with the client or the product team to clarify the doubt. And then once the doubt is clarified, it will pass on to the team members. It's happening like this. But if there is BA plus QA role, it's fine. It's absolutely good. Is it agile? So we cannot say that what fits under agile methodology and what does is not there in the agile methodology, right? Generally, agile has their different flavors, right? So you may have, like, maybe you are working on the, like, extreme programming, or you may be working on the Scrum way, right? So there are different things, right? Generally, it doesn't happen that a person is both BA plus QA. Business analyst is a full time, it should be a full time job where you're interacting with the client and clarifying on the stories that how system should work. But there is no harm if you have both kind of competencies. It's good. Product owner role. Is it good? Now the question is, product owner role is good? Yes, it's good. If you are very good, now you understand your application very well. let's say you know end to end things, you understand what is coming in the future, you understand and you communicate very well with the client, with with the whole hierarchy in your company. If you are comfortable with that during your during your tenure, that you have made a reputation that okay, you're okay with talk with anyone, you can freely talk with the client, then you can think of, can you become the product owner? Talk with your managers, talk with your different people in your organization, that how to become the product owner, right? How I can achieve that part. Scrum Master role is good. Yes, it's good. But let's understand, everyone cannot become the Scrum Master. There is a ratio. If every test engineer will start doing Scrum Master certification, there are very less opportunities. It's not like that you will see the SCM role openings very frequently, right? And because there is a reason, right? Because there are seven opportunities for the QA engineers and one opportunity for the Scrum Master role. So now, whether we should do this thing, we can definitely do this thing. But to make a career as a Scrum Master, right, you have to be very focused about you want to do mastery on different tools, handling like Jira or Rally. You should be good on the communication aspect. You should be influential in a way, right? So think about it. You can definitely become it, but try to understand the advantages and disadvantages also. When you are becoming a Scrum Master, you have to think about what else. After 2 years, what I'll be doing once I become the Scrum Master. What is the career progression after that? What I'll become after 5 years or 6 years or 10 years. Right? Think about it. So in Indian context, it is different. In US or UK, you can be Scrum Master for the next 10 years, 15 years, right? But in Indian context, it's a little bit different that people think about that, okay, from the last 20 years or 10 years, you are just a Scrum Master. So whether they will consider you with your experience and they'll pay you accordingly or not, that I am not sure. How to convert manual testing profile into automation? Now, this is very interesting question. The first question is why we want to convert our profile. The reason probably is because nowadays the requirements are such that they want manual plus automation always. So 80% of the, let's say, requirement are like this, where the company is expecting that you should be good on the manual aspect as well as on the automation front. That's why we want to switch. But don't say it's converting. It's like adding a new profile into your profile. It's not like that you can 100% switch to manual to automation, and it's not happening in the industry. So, for example, even if I am working somewhere as a 13-year experience or 14-year experience, the expectation is doing manual plus automation. There is nothing called purely automation once one person will do. A good automation engineer is who understands how manually it is handled. Right? Then only you will become a good automation engineer. It's not like that from the very start of your career, you will just do automation and you will become a very good automation engineer. Right? It's not. You have to understand first the manual aspect. So you have to be good with that part also. How to switch? How to then work on it? It's obviously that you have to learn different things and you have to be very focused. So here actually you have to break your comfort zone, right? I am straightforward using this word that whoever is thinking that I want to switch from manual to automation, it should not be just on the thinking part. You have to be very focused, disciplined, you have to do the hard work on this, maybe outside your office hours. It may happen that you have to work extra on your own learning part to work on the automation. But how to learn it? I'm talking about it now. If you're talking about the UI automation, don't go directly with the like any tool. So for example, I'll directly learn the UFT or I'll directly go to the Selenium. It won't help you on a longer run. Let's understand going to the picture again. A good test automation engineer is who understand the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Just take an example of UI automation part. Okay, so if you want to learn Selenium, actually you should be good with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript first. And it's very interesting. It's not very difficult part. This thing you can learn within 1 month. It won't take much time. There are websites called W3 Schools. From there, you can learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Make your own website first. Make your simple HTML page first. So if you are able to make the user interface, then only you will, you can understand very well that how to automate that thing now. So the goal is first complete HTML, CSS, JavaScript, then a particular programming language, let's say Java, or if you want to use the Python, anything. I'm just naming here, and then go to a proper tool. Then maybe you want to do the Selenium or whatever tool you want to use, right? UFT, right? So whatever. Let's say here is the VB script or C Sharp, Selenium, UFT, Ranorex. There are multiple things. I'm just putting some names here. So this is the way to start learning. Now there is one question about RPA tools. Should we learn RPA tools? Yes, actually we should learn. At your at at a stage when you think that you are already good, let's say if you're already good with the Java Selenium part or any automation part, and you are done with that, you understand the concept, you are already contributing to the framework, you are writing the code functionalities. If you are good with that, RPA is a good thing to learn. So there are tools called UiPath, Automation Anywhere. There are a lot of different tools, right? I'm just writing here, but actually there are hundreds of other tools also. So don't think like that you should learn only this thing. You have to check, you have to Google it. What are the RPA tools available? What is the value in the market? If you learn this thing, is there any opportunities? What is the future of different tools? Right? You have to read about it. You have to discuss about it with different people. But we can learn this thing, no problem. But this thing generally, we should not be on hurry to learn this part. If you are good in automation, then go with the RPA. Okay. Now I'm good with understanding a basic concept of the process, basic concept of the testing part. Now you can learn the RPA also. Now there was a question, if there is a gap in number of years, how to restart. Okay. So let's understand that part. That it is unfortunate that some of the companies, what they do is when they see the years of experience gap, right, they do not consider the candidate for the interview process, and it's not good actually, because 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 it should not matter about how number of years gap you have. It The potential of the candidate, the knowledge of the candidate, you know, the communication skills of a candidate, the technical skill, that should matter. So if you have the number of years of experience and then you have a gap and then you want to restart, there is no worry about it, right? The only thing is you have to put a little bit extra. You have to go a little bit extra mile to learn new things, to present yourself, right? So best way again I'm saying is understand the system. Whenever you are learning anything, you're working on a particular website, let's say you're automating something, right? take it as, okay, I want to do complete user interface automation. It should not be just theoretically you learn Selenium and you think that I have completed a course. Now I am good with that. You have to prove that you actually learned it. You have to make your own code. You should design your own framework. You should discuss about those things. You should run your test script daily. You should run your test script using Jenkins, improve on your code, improve on your framework, read about different articles, resolve your questions, right? It takes time. It takes time, but that is the way to sharpen the technical skills. Make your GitHub repository that whatever work you are doing, put it there, right? It's like this. So switching to the automation or number of gaps and then restarting it, right? So there are two parts. So one part is switching to the automation part. So when we are saying switching to the automation, don't be in hurry. Prove yourself first. It's not like that I'm doing a 3 month course, 4 month course, and I will put myself in the resume that I have 3 years of experience. Ethically, it doesn't look good. You, because you have not done it actually, right? So it's better that be honest about it or practice about it. It's fine if you are very good, then you can say, okay, I have 3 to 6 years of experience, but you have to show that potential also, right? So you should cover those parts what a person can do within 3 to 6 year or 0 to 3 year into automation. 3 year if you are showing, then you have to talk with the people who are already in automation that what you do on automation and then compare, okay, am I also good with that, right? And there is nothing like nobody can stop you. The thing is there are a lot of websites we are which is freely available. You automate any random website which you think that you can automate. Okay. And about the gap part, so when you are restarting your career, right, the thing is then you have to prepare yourself about how software testing life cycle works, related to those kind of questions, right? Related to defect management kind of system, how you're working in a team, right? So search those kind of questions in Google. There is nothing bad on searching in Google what kind of interview question people ask, right? But understand about it, right? From the system perspective, that always keep in mind, if I'm testing a system, right? How 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 the software life cycle works, how the defect life cycle works, what will happen. You have to imagine about it. And also, you should talk about it from your friends who are already in the industry. Why not call them and tell them, okay, can you explain me how defects are managed? Right? So that you will get a practical knowledge also. Why not like interact with your friends who are already in testing and ask them how you handle the tickets in your system, how it works, how development happens, what is the ratio of the development team and the testing team. There are maybe hundreds of questions that you can ask to them. The real answer will can you can get it through the person who is already working there. Right? So it's better to interact with your friends who are already working there. That is the answer if you are restarting your career after a gap. First, read about those things, prepare yourself for interview. Second thing is talk with your friends who are already there at that level and learn from them. It won't take much time. Improving the leadership's qualities. This is very interesting. Now, the leadership quality generally comes naturally. Generally, when you are good with interacting the people, when you are good in taking the ownership, when you are good in completing something, you know, this leadership quality automatically grows in oneself, right? But let's say if you think that okay, I should improve on something, right? Then one by one, I'm just listing out. It's not like the exact order we should do it. But if you're thinking about the leadership qualities, first thing is like be a team player. So generally, what we tends to do is, hey, I want to become the leader, so I should start behaving like the leader, right? That somehow a wrong thing, right? A good leader is who is actually a good team player. What is mean by the team player? Team player means who are ready to help, who understands about um, how we can help someone to complete the task. It's not about your task or my task. It's about the project task. It is about the team task. Generally, what we start doing is, this is my task, this is your task. Right? You complete your work, I'll complete my work. Somehow we will not interact with each other. Right? That kind of thinking if we have, we cannot become a good team player. So first quality, what I think is actually a good leader should be a good team player first. Then second thing is communication part, where you should be good with communicating with your business analyst, your product owner, your team lead, your manager. Third thing is you should be good about reporting. I'm talking in a very practical way. I'm not going in theoretically that leadership qualities are like this. No, no, no. I'm talking in a very practical way that you should be good on reporting. Reporting means when you are accomplishing a task, right? You're completing something. You should be a you should be good on reporting part. Okay, what are the things we have completed? A very simple example is, let's say you are doing on your testing. There is a 7 members in team. Okay, there are 7 members in team, and at the weekend, at Friday, we have to submit a report. Right? Generally, what we think is, test team leader will do this thing, right? Or some particular person will do. Why not you take the responsibility? So when we say reporting, it's more of taking responsibility and ownership. So you take the ownership. I will send the report. Why not? I will collect the report in a proper way, and slowly, yeah, yes, like slowly you will understand how faster we can do that, right? So interact with the people, get their status, put it. If there is a WSR kind of thing, weekly status report or monthly status report, that is like, that reflects, then everyone will get to know, okay, actually you are the person who is taking the ownership. You have a good leadership quality. Then it's like this. So be a team player, improve on your communication. It's not about, when we say communication, generally people take it like verbal communication skills. It's not about that. When we say communication, it's like how you're communicating with the people at the right time, to the right people. Quickly, are you connecting with the people when it is required? Everything comes under communication, right? Whether you're good on like sending a proper mail or not, whether you're responding on the proper time or not, it's like this. And learn from mistakes. So take it, take your mistakes very, what we say, gracefully. That okay, if you are making a mistake, that's fine. Take it and then improve on it, right? Resolve that thing, resolve those parts. Then only will become a good leader, right? And leader is not like, it's not like, it's same as like what we say as respect, right? Respect cannot be ours. It will be earned in the same way. The leadership roles are actually, it is earned. It is it is earned. It's not like that. One day I will ask to my manager or leader, hey, I'm give me the leadership role. It's like that. It is the other way around. Your manager or the in the hierarchy, somebody should come upfront and say, hey, this particular person, Rakesh, is really good on doing these things. Why not make him leader? It's like this. I'm talking in an ideal case, but if it is not happening, you can also go upfront and you can say that I'm good with this part, right? So I'm thinking for the leadership role. It's like this. I'll talk about more. I know you may have some question. Is it okay to domain change? Somebody has asked, is it okay to have the domain change? Yes, it's absolutely okay. Why not? The question is why not? Now let's understand. There are domains. For example, let's say banking. There is health, right? There is, let's say, e-com, right? These are the domains generally, right? Insurance. So banking and insurance is particularly good where you can think of your long, long term career, right? If you are good with that, you have worked on 4 to 5 years, right? You understand it. It's good. Based on that, you can get the get your next job. But if you are on, let's say, advertisements and media, you are on security domain, but then there is very less number of jobs based on domain. You cannot get the job, right? It's just one of the factor, right? So it's absolutely okay to change the domain, but whenever you change the domain, try, whenever you start a new domain, then understand it quickly, right? Work on it in the first 1 year, right? If I'm changing a company, let's say I'm working on insurance domain and I'm going to e-commerce domain, it's fine. But when I'm switching to the domain, right, I should learn those things quickly in next 1 year. It's not just like for a payout hike or salary hike, I change it, right? That's fine, but then you should learn that domain also in very detailed way. So a good test engineer is who understand the business, who interact as a user. Then only you will understand the domain. What should I plan ahead if I'm good in big data, cloud, shell, SQL, API? If you're good with this, probably you can, apart from the testing part, you should go to the DevOps, right? And it's good thing. It's not very critical. It's not very complex. Sorry, not critical. It's not very complex. If you are good with this, it looks like that you can become a good DevOps person or site reliability engineer. Or another thing is from the big data itself, there are analytics roles, right? So you can, from the data science part, right? Um, there are data scientists, analytics, those things you can think of. But it purely depends on your interest. I'm just suggesting that. It looks like that. You're good with that. Why not handle something which is related to cloud? So when we say cloud and scripting, that will be under the DevOps side. And we talk about the data and the analysis part, that will come under the data science part. It's like this. And it's good to do these things, but it depends on at what stage of your career you are. So for example, if you are just 0 to 4 years, there are very less number of jobs related to this. Generally these things, company expect that there will be a mature person, there will be good technical, solid background should be there for a person. So if you are, let's say, 4 plus year or 8 plus year experience, that's fine. You can think about these two things like DevOps, SRE, or data science part. Scrum Master, yes, it's good to do. We have already covered it. So that's it. We have covered most of the things, I think. And thank you, guys.